I would like to start by acknowledging the Belgian presidency for setting an agenda for the informal meeting of the Development Formation of the European Council, full with items that are very important and very actual and important to discuss, including the one item on the activities of UNRWA in Gaza. In the Hungarian government's position, we condemned the terrorist activities of Hamas on the strongest possible term, and we fully observe Israel's right for war of self-defense against Hamas, the terrorist organization. On the other hand, we think that it is very important that we avoid any further escalation for this conflict to become a conflict between states. And also we need to find ways to support the innocent suffering Gazan civilian population. Hungary has been seeking ways to support the civilians in Gaza. After the conference that was convened by President Emmanuel Macron last year, we have offered 100,000 euros donation to support the Gazan refugees in Egypt. And at the same time, we are working through the church, the Catholic Church, the Jerusalem Latin Patriarchate, and the Hungarian government donated $400,000 to support Christian and Muslim suffering civilians in Gaza. UNRWA should be the main channel to support this humanitarian need. Therefore, the allegations and the claims that employees of UNRWA are working together or took part in terrorist activities alongside with Hamas terrorists are very concerning. So I'm looking forward to a very important, difficult but hopefully productive discussion on that today. Regarding another item on today's agenda, Ukraine. Hungary, the Hungarian government is in full solidarity with the suffering Ukrainian people. The Hungarian government has started the largest humanitarian operation to support the civilians of Ukraine in the past years. We have opened our borders and welcomed more than 1 million war refugees in Hungary who has been offered any sort of assistance they might need. On the territory of Ukraine, the Hungarian government up to date has provided 150 million euros worth of aid, humanitarian aid, rehabilitation aid and development aid. We do have to discuss how to proceed with the support of Ukraine. We welcome the heavily discussed compromise on the Ukraine facility, but we insist on some parts of that compromise that the Ukraine facility and the activities and the financing through the Ukraine facility has to be revised by the European Commission and by the European Council on a yearly basis. We also welcome on this meeting that one of the items were about human rights and how to support and protect basic human rights through the tools and activities of humanitarian aid and development. On the other hand, we think that there was a missed opportunity to discuss religious freedom as a basic human right. Hungary and the Hungarian government strongly insists that religious freedom has to be protected. Our national aid program, the Hungary Helps International Aid Program, focuses on providing aid to those communities and people whose religious freedom has been violated. We are supporting persecuted Christians and other persecuted religious communities all around the world. So I'm looking forward for a very productive day, and thank you for your interest. Thank you. Goodbye.
What should the European Union do about aid to UNRWA? They have a payment due at the end of this month. Should that payment be made?
But first of all, these claims has to be carefully investigated. I wouldn't like to jump to a conclusion before that. Today is one of those opportunities when we will hear from the leadership of UNRWA, and we will see about their claims and their side of the story. Hungary is not a bilateral contributor to UNRWA, so in this context, it is not a relevant question for us. But the overall European Union's decision should be decided after investigations and talks like what we are going to have today. That's something to consider, certainly, yes. What we need to keep in mind is that UNRWA doesn't only focus its activity in Gaza or in Palestine, but also in surrounding countries. So, and any conclusion that we make together has to take into that consideration that there are activities in other countries as well. Can you repeat that? Sorry, I cannot hear.
You said that you will insist that the Ukraine facility should be revised annually. Can you explain in details how it is not similar to the position of the European Council?
Well, the Ukrainian facility, through the compromise, has been set a budget of 50 billion euros, if I remember. But this is also not we don't see very strong guarantees. There was a compromise referring to that budget cap in the European Council. We would like to see all elements of this compromise to be implemented through the legislative process in the European Commission. No, the compromise has been reached in the European Council. We agreed to that. All what we are asking and all what we are insisting on is that what has been agreed upon will be implemented in the future. That is not in the scope of today's meeting, so I would rather not at this time. Thank you. Goodbye.
Good morning. In a time when Europe faces a lot of challenges with the scarcity of resources, we need to find a European way to deliver. And I think that the triple nexus to combine peace, humanitarian aid, and cooperation is a very good way. We need to combine localization with cooperation and strong investment, co-creation with the countries that need your support. And I think the parliamentary dimension is very important. Next week in Luanda, the 4 regional assemblies and the joint parliamentary assembly, Africa, Caribbean, Pacific European Union, will launch its works under the Samoa Agreement. I'm the co-president of this paritarian assembly. I think the parliamentary dimension is a space of dialogue to have this idea to work together with the countries that need our support to enforce the European perspective of development. And this meeting of the Development Committee is very important also for that. Thank you very much. I think the European Union need to work to have to audit all the work of UNRWA in Gaza, but people in Gaza need support and need the support of the European Union. The European Union is responsible for half of all the support to humanitarian aid in the world, and the people of Palestine also need this support. Tomorrow in the European Parliament, in the DEVE committee, we will hear people from UNRWA. We will also make this debate. I think we need to have an open mind to know the truth, but not lost the idea that help people is the first goal of the work in the humanitarian field. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Thomas Tobé. I'm the chair of the Development Committee in the European Parliament. I very much look forward to the meeting today. Firstly, of course, we will stress that what we have put in place now with Global Gateway and Team Europe is really important. This is really about offering a partnership. And I would say that in this very unstable geopolitical reality that we have, it's really a competition also about which narrative should win. We see continuously disinformation about Europe. And I think what we need to show our partners is that we are there. We are willing to work with you. And we are a clear alternative to Russia and to China. And we really want to offer something that could give prosperity and give growth for many of our partner countries. And secondly, of course, we will also today have the discussion with Mr. Lazzarini from UNRWA. And I think that it will be very important that we can get some clarity. It's a serious allegation that 12 UNRWA employees were linked to the Hamas terrorist attacks. And of course, from the European Parliament, we want to make sure that all our aid can reach the civil population, the Palestinians. It is extremely important. But of course, we also need to know that we can trust, that we have accountability, and that we have transparency. So I do look forward to see what this meeting will give. Okay, thank you.
Schönen guten Morgen. Wir sind hier beim informellen Entwicklungsministerrat in Brüssel. Informeller Rat sagt schon, wir werden hier keine Entscheidungen treffen. Gleichwohl ist das ein enorm wichtiger entwicklungspolitischer Ministerrat in Zeiten großer globaler Herausforderungen. Die geopolitischen Entwicklungen sind nicht nur herausfordernd, sie sind auch gefährlich. Wir werden hier unter anderem über die Situation in der Ukraine sprechen. Es ist ja so, dass kürzlich die EU zum Glück die zivile Hilfe für die Ukraine, für die Unterstützung der ukrainischen Regierung, aber auch schon für den beginnenden Wiederaufbau freigegeben hat. 50 Milliarden, das ist gut. Ich bin der deutsche Vertreter in der Multigeber-Plattform und werde in den nächsten Tagen wieder in Kiew sein. Und ich glaube, es ist eine wichtige Botschaft von der EU an die Ukraine, aber auch an Putin, dass wir in unserer Unterstützung nicht nachlassen werden. Das ist umso wichtiger, weil wir die Situation in den USA haben. Es ist unklar, inwieweit in der Zukunft die USA militärisch wie auch zivil leistungsfähig sein können. Das bedeutet, dass zusätzliche Herausforderungen, auch zusätzliche Anforderungen, zusätzliche Verantwortung auf Europa selbst zukommt. Wir werden auch über weitere Krisenregionen in der Welt reden, zum Beispiel im Sahel, in den westafrikanischen Staaten. Wir haben hier mehrere Militärputsche gehabt. Unsere deutsche Auffassung ist, dass wir, und das teilen wir mit den meisten Mitgliedstaaten, dass wir hier engagiert bleiben müssen, dass wir die Bevölkerung in diesen Ländern nicht allein lassen dürfen, weil wir sie dann noch stärker an die Seite Russlands und Chinas etwa treiben werden. Dazu ist es wichtig, dass die EU konsistent auftritt. Das erwarten wir übrigens auch vom Europäischen Auswärtigen Dienst, dass keine Konfusionen bei internationalen Auftritten entstehen. Lassen Sie mich noch etwas zu Gaza sagen. Wir werden heute Mittag ein Treffen mit dem UNRWA-Chef Lazzarini haben. Deutschland hatte entschieden, und hier ist es wichtig, genau und präzise zu sein, dass wir zusätzliche neue Zusagen an UNRWA für den Gazastreifen zunächst pausieren, bis die Untersuchung, wie es dazu kommen konnte, dass 13 Angestellte von UNRWA an den Terroranschlägen beteiligt waren, vollständig aufgeklärt sind. Das ist kein Zahlungsstopp und es betrifft nicht die Arbeit von UNRWA außerhalb des Gazastreifens. Wir glauben, dass die UN die richtigen Schritte eingeleitet hat mit den Untersuchungen. Ich sage aber auch, die Arbeit von UNRWA ist insbesondere im Gazastreifen im Augenblick nicht ersetzbar. Menschen sterben in großer Zahl. Hilfe, menschliche Hilfe ist unabdingbar und dafür brauchen wir UNRWA. Ein letzter Punkt. Ich werde die Gelegenheit hier nutzen, die deutsche Haltung zum EU-Lieferkettengesetz klarzumachen. Es ist etwas Konfusion entstanden, weil durch ein Regierungsmitglied an europäische Mitgliedstaaten suggeriert worden ist, wir seien gegen dieses Gesetz. Das sind wir nicht. Das werde ich hier sehr klar machen. Entwicklungspolitisch sind wir sogar sehr für dieses Gesetz. Es kann allerdings sein, dass Deutschland sich am Ende wird enthalten müssen. Entschuldigung, wer? Ja. Ja, wir werden das ja heute mit Herrn Lazzarini besprechen. Die Mitgliedstaaten reagieren unterschiedlich, weil auch die innenpolitische Situation auch unterschiedlich ist. Es ist ja völlig unbestreitbar und richtig so, dass Deutschland uneingeschränkt an der Seite Israels steht. Wir müssen aber auch sehen, dass unschuldige Menschen, Palästinenser, die mit den Hamas nichts zu tun haben, im Augenblick in enormer Not sind. Und diese Differenziertheit, die braucht es. Wir müssen jetzt schnell die Vorwürfe aufklären. Dazu ist es im Übrigen erforderlich, dass Israel auch alle seine Informationen, die es hat, über Vorkommnisse den Ermittlern der UN rechtzeitig überstellt, sodass sie in diese Untersuchung eingehen können. Ja, das tun wir. Man muss sehen, dass diese Organisation unter widrigsten Umständen in einer absolut desaströsen Situation arbeitet. Es ist so, dass die Arbeit von UNRWA ja auch in der Vergangenheit jederzeit von Israel selbst gewünscht war. Das war auch richtig so. Und dass auch die Informationen, die UNRWA vorlagen, auch an Israel übermittelt worden sind. Gleichwohl, ich will da ganz klar sein, lehnt Deutschland natürlich jede Form von Gewalt und jeden Terror ab. Wir werden das heute in Ruhe mit Herrn Lazzarini besprechen. Yeah, sure. We have a completely complex situation in Gaza and in the Middle East, and all black and white answers are per se wrong. Therefore, we have to be very clear the attacks by Hamas against Israel were unjustifiable. We are, as Germans, very clear on that. At the same time, people in Gaza Strip are suffering under the situation. Not all of them, the least of them are terrorists, and UNRWA is absolutely essential. There is, at least currently, no alternative to UNRWA. Germany decided to pause new commitments, but not the ongoing payments to UNRWA in the short period of the UN investigation on the accusations that are on the table. Okay.
Bien, buenos días. Soy Eva Granados, la secretaria de Estado de Cooperación Internacional española. Es mi primera reunión aquí en un consejo informal de ministros de Cooperación al Desarrollo. Anoche tuvimos una cena interesante con el representante de Derechos Humanos, con el comisionado de Naciones Unidas, donde pudimos poner de relieve lo importante que es los derechos humanos para el desarrollo y el desarrollo para los derechos humanos. Hoy estoy conociendo a todos mis colegas del equipo Europa y tenemos una agenda importante por delante. En un momento en el que se hace la revisión de medio plazo de los temas fiscales aquí en Cooperación al Desarrollo, para nosotros es muy importante que la Agenda 2030 y el pilar social siga siendo imprescindible y prioritario en este equipo Europa y en el Global Gateway. También tenemos encima de la mesa, y España va a mostrar su apoyo a la situación en Ucrania, a la invasión en Rusia, y por lo tanto el apoyo cerrado a la soberanía de Ucrania, y sobre todo pues que la reconstrucción y las reformas y la ampliación deben ir de la mano. Luego vamos a tener un desayuno interesante con el responsable de UNRWA. Y sobre esta cuestión yo creo que debemos decir un par de cuestiones. En primer lugar, la situación de los civiles gazatíes es insoportable. Tenemos que agradecer el trabajo de las entidades humanitarias que están trabajando en el terreno, especialmente UNRWA. Hemos conocido la denuncia de Israel, que es grave, y tenemos que seguir esas investigaciones, pero tanto Naciones Unidas como UNRWA han reaccionado rápido y han reaccionado bien. Por eso nosotros consideramos que el trabajo de UNRWA en Gaza es insustituible, no puede haber otra entidad que pueda realizar el trabajo que está haciendo, y por eso España, aparte de las donaciones ordinarias, ha hecho un desembolso de 3,5 millones extraordinario durante este mes. Y también queremos subrayar la importancia de, teniendo en cuenta la situación de los civiles en Gaza, tener muy claro cuáles son nuestras responsabilidades como donantes a la hora de hacer los desembolsos que corresponden a partir de ahora y en las próximas semanas. Muchísimas gracias.
Good morning, everybody. First, I want to thank Belgian Presidency for organizing this informal council meeting here today. We have 3 important items on the agenda. The first one is a very timely discussion on the EU's international cooperation and development policy in the Global South. And this is especially timely because of the decision made by or taken by EUCO 10 days ago in terms of our MFF midterm review. The second item is Ukraine. It's important that now when the Ukraine facility is decided that we can start to implement that, and we are also waiting for the Ukraine's plan to be received from Ukraine. And then the third item is unfortunate conflict in Gaza. So we will have a discussion later today with UNRWA, and of course our aim is really to be able to provide humanitarian aid and support to the citizens of Gaza. So very much looking forward to our discussions today.
Well, we are going to take a stock with the cooperation and development ministers of a policy of cooperation with emerging countries. We are in the middle of the financial perspective. It has to be reviewed what we have done and we still have to be done. We have to review the financial allocations in order to continue doing in the framework of these two wars, because certainly everything that we do is being affected by these two wars, the perception of these wars around the world. I've been in Ukraine. I will debrief the ministers of my visit to Ukraine, where certainly Russia continues indiscriminated attacks. I could witness them, and to continue encouraging member states to support Ukraine as much as it takes in order to reject the invasion. Obviously, we will discuss also about the situation in Gaza. Happy to know that 2 hostages has been liberated, but also very much worried by the situation in the border with Egypt, where new military operations seems to be taken by the Israeli Defense Forces. Netanyahu have been asking to the evacuation of 1.7 million people without saying where these people could be evacuated. The situation with Egypt is very tense, and we are extraordinarily concerned about what can happen in there. Many ministers of the European Union has been issuing messages yesterday, me too, asking Israel not to prevent humanitarian support to come to Gaza. If they launch military operations in the border with Egypt, Egypt has already said that in this case the humanitarian support will not be able to go to Gaza. And the situation with Egypt is very difficult, understandable. So let's see what's happening in the following hours. All foreign affairs ministers are following the situation, but we have to do maybe something more than just to express concern.
Yesterday said that Israel's actions are no longer proportionate. Do you share this assessment?
Well, many people say that even the president of the U.S. said yesterday that the operations are no longer proportional, that they are excessive, that the toll of people being killed is unbearable. I think it is a sentence that more and more comes from many people around the world. Even the U.S., who is the strongest supporter of Israel, consider it by the President Biden himself that this action is disproportionate, that the toll of people being killed, civilians being killed, is unbearable, and warning Israel not to continue this way. But my question is, apart from words, what else do you think it has to be done? If you believe that the toll of death is too high, do you have any possibility to make it lower?
What's your answer to that, High Representative? What can the European Union do beyond words? Do you have a proposal for what the European Union should do beyond words?
Well, the European Union is not providing arms to Israel. Others do.
Others could stop if they wanted.
If you believe that the death toll is too high, maybe you can do something to make it lower.
defend these people in Gaza that I've already mentioned. There's discussion right now going on about funding to Gaza. What's your view on that?
Well, the discussion continues. My colleague and friend Blinken has been traveling to Israel many times, begging the Israelis to stop killing people. At least not too many. My colleague, the German minister, yesterday also issued a message exactly on the same terms. Extraordinarily concerned by the situation in the border between Gaza and Egypt. So we have to continue putting pressure on Israel, to have to continue to support the humanitarian crisis. But if they launch an offensive against a highly populated area with more than 1.7 million people crash against a wall, they cannot escape. You know, when there is a war, people escape. But people in Gaza cannot escape. They are in closed door. They are being bombed without being able to escape. So this is the situation. So I hope that the whole world will take stock of it.
Representative, you said that defunding UNRWA would be dangerous. There have been new allegations over the weekend about mass bombs under UNRWA. Has that changed your response to the situation?
We will talk about it this afternoon. We have invited Lazzarini. One thing is sure for me, UNRWA today plays an unsubstitutable work. Nobody else can do what UNRWA is doing. Second, allegations has to be verified. The presumption of innocence is valid for everyone at any time, even for UNRWA. It is not a secret that the Israeli government wants to get rid of UNRWA. Not now. For many years before, wanted to get rid of UNRWA because they believe that getting rid of UNRWA, they get rid of the problem of the Palestinian refugees. No, it will make it still worse. You know, hundreds of thousands of people are being eating. They eat every day. Hundreds of thousands of people, thanks to the work of UNRWA, and not only in Gaza, in Lebanon, in Syria, in Jordan. So, allegations, okay. Happy to know that UNRWA has already launched a complete and comprehensive investigation about what is happening. If there is any problem, let's wait for this investigation to take place. Let's wait for this investigation to take place. Secretary General of the United Nations, I suppose people trust the Secretary General of the United Nations. Him personally has decided to launch a complete investigation. So let's see. The investigation will take as much as needed. And in the meantime, people have to continue eating. They have to continue going to the doctors. 30,000 medical consultations per day.
We know it's not on the agenda, but do you have any comment on President Trump's remarks over the weekend suggesting that...
Which remarks?
President Trump's remarks...
President Trump?
Former president.
Ah, okay.
In America, they keep using the honorific.
Yeah, they still call me minister in Spain, yes.
Yes. What's your comment on his remarks suggesting that if countries don't pay enough on defence, he would encourage Russia to attack?
Let me be sarcastic. During this campaign, we will see and listen to many things. Let's be serious. NATO cannot be a la carte military alliance. Cannot be a military alliance that works depending on the humor of the President of the US on those days. It's not yes, now yes, tomorrow no, it depends, who are you? Now, come on. Let's be serious. Let's be serious. NATO cannot be an alliance a la carte. It exists or it not exist. But I'm not going to spend my time comment any silly idea that comes during this electoral campaign in the US.
But who's the discussion in the space facility?